Hamas losing Gaza and violence from the left. It's 5 and 10 from SkyWatchTV. 5 things you need to know in about 10 minutes for Wednesday, July 16th, 2025. I'm Gilbert. Item number 5 today, Israel. Hamas admits it's losing control of Gaza, or in fact may already have lost it. The BBC reports that, citing a wounded Hamas officer, that the terror group is struggling to pay salaries, has lost control of 80% of the territory inside the Gaza Strip, and has had almost all of its senior leadership figures lost in battle. The report, based on a number of voice messages between this Hamas officer, identified only as a lieutenant colonel inside Hamas, sent to the BBC. He was reportedly wounded back in October of 2023 following the Hamas massacre inside Israel on that day. The officer quoted says that Hamas has lost 80% of Gaza, control over 80% of Gaza. That's a little more pessimistic than the Israel Defense Forces. The IDF says it's in control of about 65% of the Gaza Strip, getting close to its stated goal of exercising control over 3/4 of the ground area there. There are areas of Gaza where the IDF is almost not operating at all, largely because they're afraid that the remaining hostages, those that are still alive, maybe up to 20 or 25, maybe in those areas, they don't want them killed. But it could also reflect the rise of anti-Hamas clans inside Gaza. As we've been telling you, there are clans in Gaza, most notably the Abu Shabab clan in southern Gaza, operating in the city of Khan Yunis, that is being armed by the IDF and paid by the Palestinian Authority, which is in control of Judea and Samaria, or at least is the nominal government over those areas of the West Bank. They've been rivals of Hamas for more than 20 years. In fact, Hamas is in control of the Gaza Strip because in 2006, they staged an armed coup against Fatah, which is the political party of the Palestinian Authority, and murdered the PA officials in Hamas. That's why Hamas is, or in Gaza rather, that's why Hamas is in control of Gaza. So anyway, the Palestinian Authority reportedly, according to multiple sources now, paying these families inside Gaza who oppose Hamas, and Hamas now being pressured not just by the IDF, but by other Arabs in Gaza who want Hamas gone. Item number 4 today, Ukraine. On Monday, the Trump administration announced that going forward, the United States will sell weapons to NATO rather than sending them directly to Ukraine. In other words, we're going to sell the weapons to our allies in Europe, and then from there, it's up to Germany, France, and the United Kingdom what they decide to do with those weapons. If they want to give them to Ukraine, all right, that's on them. It appears that what President Trump is trying to do is slow down the inertia, drawing the world ever closer to World War III. Giving NATO the weapons puts the consequences on them for arming Ukraine in this ongoing proxy war between NATO and Russia. Basically, President Trump saying, okay, you want a ground war in Eastern Europe? That's on you. We're out of it. We'll sell you the weapons, but how you use them, that's up to you. So Russia's President Vladimir Putin has been very clear-eyed about all of this from the very beginning, saying that this is a proxy war with NATO. Of course, the media here in the West dismissing those claims. It's like, well, you can't trust anything he says. No, this removes the pretense, basically, with NATO directly providing weapons to Ukraine to fund an offensive war, or to basically provide the weaponry for an offensive war against Russia. All form of pretense is gone. But again, with President Trump standing back and saying, we're not going to send them directly to Ukraine anymore, we'll send them to our European allies. Now the onus is on Sir Keir Starmer, Emmanuel Macron, Friedrich Merz, if they want to suffer the consequences for expanding this conflict with Russia, the thing working in favor of de-escalating this conflict and maybe bringing it to a close is that it appears, based on what we've seen over the last 3 years of this conflict, that the United Kingdom, France, and Germany are more than happy to go to war with Russia as long as it's the United States out front. President Trump is saying, no, you want the war, you send your boys to do it. Pray that cooler heads prevail. Item number 3 today, left-wing violence. You have to wonder, why is The View still on ABC? I can only imagine it's because there are a lot of people who watch it just to see what crazy things Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, and Sunny Hostin will say. Sunny Hostin on screen here. She is ostensibly an attorney who should know better than to say what she is saying because of the legal jeopardy she keeps putting ABC News in. She suggested on Friday that it is perfectly okay for leftists to violently attack ICE agents, Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, saying that because ICE agents, to protect them when they're off duty, are wearing masks, that somehow it's justifiable to attack them. She said, and I quote, "If you mask yourself because you don't want to be seen, there will be a reckoning for some of the actions law enforcement have done," end quote. Now, bear in mind that that comment came after, as we told you last week, the attempted ambush on ICE agents in Texas, where they were drawn outside by a group of 10 who've been arrested, now charged. One local police officer was shot in the neck, thankfully treated and released. None of the ICE agents hurt, but they did come under fire. And as we also told you, at a protest in California, at a cannabis farm, one of the protesters fired a handgun in the direction of ICE agents. No one hit, thankfully. This is consistent with what we've been telling you over the last few weeks, that as Axios reported, Democrats in the House of Representatives saying that their base, the most vocal parts of their base, the radical left, pushing Democrats and their Democratic Party officials and representatives to do more to oppose what President Trump and the Republicans are doing, even if it means violent action, trying to get in the way of law enforcement carrying out their official duties. This is understandable, I suppose, given that leftists here in the United States have been fed a narrative for the last 10 years that Donald Trump and his supporters are literal Nazis. That's on the media. Topic number 2 today, free stuff for illegals. We talked about this yesterday with Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass giving out prepaid debit cards to illegals who are afraid to leave their homes because of we're now actually enforcing our immigration laws. Last week, the Department of Health and Human Services cut off free services to illegal migrants, things that have been offered to them since 1998, the Clinton administration. In 1998, the Department of Health and Human Services interpreted the Personal Responsibility and Work Opportunity Reconciliation Act of 1996 to allow illegal immigrants to use certain federal public benefits. Last week, Thursday, HHS announced that it was rescinding that interpretation. And so the federal public benefits illegal immigrants will no longer have access to include things like Head Start, certified community behavioral health clinics, mental health services, and so on. Again, it's just begs credulity. I mean, why have these things been available to people in the country illegally for almost the last 25 years? Well, as of last Thursday, no more. Coming up, Israel apparently has a secret weapon that it used in the war against Iran. The Iranians are now wise to it. I'll tell you what it is next on 5 and 10.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you can support the ministry of SkyWatchTV and our continued efforts to share the gospel of Jesus Christ throughout the 4 corners of the world and receive your very own copy of this urgent new work when you order the Jewish Roots of Christianity Master Collection. Not only does this incredible opportunity include Larry Stamm's new book, Jewish Roots of Christianity, a biblical survey of redemptive history from Genesis to Revelation, but it also includes the Jewish Roots of Christianity Christianity Revealed companion DVD. Get ready for an unforgettable journey with Larry Stamm in this exciting DVD featuring 2 powerful episodes from his Jewish Roots of Christianity series. This DVD will absolutely revolutionize your understanding of the gospel in the Old Testament, how the feasts of Israel point to the Messiah Jesus Christ, and the powerful link between biblical Judaism and New Testament faith. But that's not all. Right now, this special opportunity also includes Larry Stamm's DVD, Live Out Loud. This powerful guide helps you to live boldly for Christ in a world growing more and more hostile to Christianity every day. Drawing from the Apostle Paul's life, Larry offers timeless lessons to help you exalt Jesus, amplify the gospel, and make an eternal impact. Perfect for personal devotion or small group study. Don't miss this call to live your faith boldly today. Sold separately, these items hold a retail value of $75. Yours now for your donation of only $45, which includes free shipping to all U.S. orders. But for a very limited time, you can upgrade your Jewish Roots of Christianity Master Collection to include the entire 10-episode Pilgrimage to Zion Salvation Studies in Israel DVD collection. Filmed in Israel on location, this 5-disc, 10-episode collection hosted by Larry Stamm uncovers how the New Jerusalem, also known as Zion, represents the Lord, His dwelling place, and His redeemed people. Through the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ, you'll also understand Zion as the ultimate destination for all believers, our eternal home in perfect communion with God. This massive collection holds a retail value of $125 all by itself. With upgrade to include the entire 10-episode Pilgrimage to Zion Salvation Studies in Israel DVD collection would cost you $200. Yours now for your donation of only $85, which includes free shipping to all U.S. orders. You can scan the QR code on your screen using the camera app on your phone for instant access to this special opportunity. You can also visit us at SkyWatchTVstore.com or call 1-844-750-4985 and ask for the Jewish Roots of Christianity Master Collection or the Jewish Roots of Christianity with Pilgrimage to Zion 10-episode DVD collection upgrade right now.
Item number 1 today, meet Israel's secret weapon in the 12-day war. Yeah, the occult, magic, the paranormal. Former editor of the IRGC-linked newspaper Javan, IRGC, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, Abdullah Ganji told his 150,000 followers on X, formerly Twitter, that a strange phenomenon had taken place during the 12-day war. He claimed that as Israel deployed the occult and supernatural spirits during its war with Iran. He said that quote, after the recent war, a few sheets of paper were found on the streets of Tehran containing talismans with Jewish symbols. In the first year of the Gaza war, news had also leaked about Netanyahu meeting with occult specialists. A few years ago, the supreme leader, that's Ayatollah Khamenei, had stated that hostile countries and Western and Hebrew intelligence services use occult sciences and jinn entities for espionage. Jinn, genies, like. Apparently, that's how Israel's opening bombing campaign in the 12-day war was so effective. They were targeting and using information that had been given to them by. This week on SkyWatch TV, we're talking about the Jewish origins of Christianity, the roots of our faith. Messianic believer Larry Stamm joins us to talk about his book, The Jewish Roots of Christianity. You can watch the program now at our website, skywatchtv.com. Over the air, our broadcast schedule, skywatchtv.com/channels. That's where you'll find the channels, dates, and times. You can also watch it right now on your schedule just by adding the SkyWatch TV channel to your smart TV, Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, even Google TV and Android TV. Go to their app store, find the SkyWatch TV channel, Install it on your smart TV, and then we will be there with all of our content, not just the main program, but these daily news updates, the Donna Howell Show, and more whenever you click that remote. You can also watch us on the internet, youtube.com/@SkyWatchTelevision. Please subscribe, share, click the bell for notifications, and hit the like button. You can also find us at rumble.com/SkyWatchTV, or download us to your smartphone or tablet, whether it's iOS, Android, or Amazon Kindle Fire. We have apps for all of those and links to the app stores at skywatchtv.com/app. If you're in Western Ohio, Eastern Indiana, or frankly anywhere in the Midwest, we ask you to join us in Dayton, or suburban Dayton anyway, Brookville, Ohio, at the Harvest Revival Center for the Go Therefore Conference, July 25th and 26th. Sharon and I will be there alongside Pastor Carl Gallups, Dr. Sherry Tenpenny, Vicki Joy Anderson, Pastor Casper McLeod, David Hebner, Kenny C., Tom Dunn. A wonderful lineup. Dr. Mike Spalding putting together the conference. And you can join us in person or via streaming video. In fact, you can buy an all-access pass, attend in person, and then get the streaming video package so you can watch the presentations again. Share them with your friends when you get back home, and save $10 when you do that. Information and registration at gothereforeconference.com. That's gothereforeconference.com. In August, we welcome you to the Ozarks. All of us from SkyWatch TV will be there. Host Joe Ardis Horn of the main program, Donna Howell, host of the Donna Howell Show. Nita Horn will be there along with Sharon and me and many of our friends. This is the Remnant Rising Conference in Springfield, Missouri, August 22nd through 24th. Some really fascinating guests. Jamie Walden, who's dynamic. Mondo de la Vega, who's got a story. His testimony from the gangs of East LA to preaching the gospel. From gangs to the gospel. That is worth hearing alone. Vicki Joy Anderson will be there. Kevin Shipp, former CIA officer, with a really interesting story. And Stuart Rhodes, founder of Oath Keepers, who was imprisoned because he was in the U.S. Capitol on January 6th of 2021. Yeah, definitely want to hear that story. You can be there in person or stream video and find out more at hearthewatchmen.com. But if you're planning to attend in person, make sure you save $20 with promo code SkyWatch20, SkyWatch20. And when you use that promo code, Hear the Watchmen Ministries will donate $20 on your behalf to Whispering Ponies Ranch. And so it's a win-win. Again, hearthewatchmen.com. Sharon and I are going to be back in Israel in October 19th through 30th. We ask you to join us there, and a tour like no other. This will be not just a tour, it will be an adventure. Among the things we will see, Gilgal Rephaim, Israel's Stonehenge. We'll see Jesus' base of ministry, Capernaum, and explain why that's at the south end of the Valley of the Shadow of Death. Yes, we think that's a real place, and we will show it to you. We'll worship on the Sea of Galilee, where Jesus walked across the water, take you to Jerusalem, the Temple Mount, the Mount of Olives, the Old City, and show you the historic locations of the crucifixion and the burial tomb, the resurrection site of Jesus, not on most tours. And we will also show you the red heifers at Shiloh. Find out more and reserve your seat on the bus. Don't wait. There's time is running out. October's coming up pretty quick. Gilberthouse.org/travel, Gilberthouse.org/travel. 5 in 10. Follow us online, YouTube at 5 in 10. Subscribe, share, click the bell for notifications, hit that like button, and please leave your comments below. And you can also follow us on X, formerly Twitter, at 5_in_10. And thank you for watching as we keep watch. I'm Derek Gilbert. This is 5 in 10 from SkyWatch TV.